Well, I mean, my first experience back to with FCA was seventh grade FCA game day, and I was 13 years old, pursuing a dream of being a great football player, and God gave me a great gift athletically to really to be good at really anything that I wanted to do physically, and that created a sense of I can do it on my own if I put my mind up to it, and not really realizing that God was working in my life. I thought it was all me, and going to Rice University on FCA game day, listening to Coach Hatfield speak, and seeing those football players run around a football field, I wanted to be that. And so I pursued that every day. I lived to be a great um, football player, and not really so much of a great student, or really not so much worried about being a great person, but I did everything I thought that I needed to do to be a great football player. Growing up, you know, following in inner city of Houston, Texas, there was a lot of kids like me, a lot of men like young men like me, and a lot of women too. We were on our own trying to figure it out, and following not always a positive lead. And I was never really grateful until I got hurt, and I was a freshman in high school, and it put me by myself for a while. And I had some great coaches that really kind of planted some seeds along the way, and then speeding up through high school years, they were always, I grew up on my own. Really kind of had a great mother, but no father figure in my life all the time. I had a few good men, coaches, and counselors, and God placed a great man in my life who I consider to this day my earthly father. Maybe not my biological father, but my earthly father. And I know at the end of the day I have a spiritual father, but again, I didn't always recognize that. And I was blessed, though, at the same time to get a scholarship and go on to the University of Arkansas at Monticello. And to be honest with you, I always said I did that for years. I did it. I earned my scholarship. I got myself an opportunity to play college ball. I completed one of my long-term goals. I did it. It was always about me. Come my sophomore year, I had the red shirt. I got injured, dislocated my shoulder. And, again, goes back to I'm going to get myself out of it. I'm going to overcome. I'm going to train. I'm going to rehab. I'm going to get myself back on the field. And to fast forward, 3 years later, I did wind up playing, but my senior year came around, and I thought I was in the best shape ever. Trained well. I did it. I prepared my body. No one contributed to it but me. I'd woke up early in the morning. I followed a great diet, and not really giving thanks to the opportunity God was giving me daily to wake up and be able to have a physically fit body, or a gift to go out and glorify Him with. Again, my senior year, dislocated my shoulder, basically played with one arm. And although I did finish the year, I went back and went through the process again for really a third time. And at this time, I had graduated, and I was in an incredible position that I thought I put myself in. I was training pro athletes and working with great athletes, anybody you can think of. And it was all about me doing what I thought I had put myself in position to do, not really realizing God was just continuously laying the path out for me to walk. But at the same time, the devil was slowly trying to push me off of it. And come 2006, really 5 years ago, we had an opportunity to move up here. And it took about a year after, in 2007, after coming here and not, moving to Arkansas and not really knowing anybody, but consistently trying to do it on my own because I thought I could do it. I realized that in 2009, 2010, that wasn't me doing that, and it took a great man coming into my life, unplanned. It was God's will for Him to put that man in my life. Over the last 2 years, I've slowly realized that God's always here for you. It takes us meeting Him where we're at, and allowing God to get into our lives, and really pouring Him into us so that His will can pour out. One man told me this. He said, you live in the moment of maybe. It may be too late. And understand that there's a spiritual battle being fought above us, and one of those enemies, our enemy, has our playbook. He knows everything about us. He knows what play we're gonna call. He knows our injury report, and he knows who we're gonna put in the game. But at the same time, on the other side, we don't know what play he's gonna call when we're doing it on our own, when I'm doing it on my own. I don't know what play is gonna be called. I don't know what defense or offense is gonna be ran. But I know with God working in my life, and when I don't compromise God's will, all things are possible. And so I give thanks in everything that happens, good or bad, because I understand we stumble, we're gonna fall, and we're gonna hit spiritual home runs, and we're gonna score spiritual touchdowns sometimes, but then also we're gonna throw some interceptions, and we're gonna make some mistakes. Not to sound, not trying to use it as cheap grace, because we want to learn from those mistakes and not repeat them. And when we die to ourselves daily, and we allow our coach, our spiritual coach, to lead us every day, we'll be able to consistently hit those spiritual home runs and win every day. My name is Coach Dustin Kuhn, and I have a coach. His name is Jesus.